No problem. Take care. Hi. Excuse me. Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Hey there, what?
Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm a barefoot photographer, so it's about your feet.
Oh, sure.
It's about your bare feet.
My bare feet?
Yeah, I want to, because I'm a foot photographer, so I teach other foot photographers how to approach strangers and get them comfortable with the idea of foot photography. There's a mental health aspect to it as well. Yeah, you got like 10 minutes.
I'm comfortable with my feet on there, but thank
Say again?
you. Good luck on your venture.
Oh, you don't want to?
No.
You don't have to show them. You can just talk about how you don't want to show them.
I can talk about how I don't want to show them?
Yeah.
All right, sure, I can do that.
You got like 10 minutes?
10 minutes? No, I got class in a bit. I can give you like 2.
2 minutes? All right. Let's do it real quick then. Can we sit down over on the bench real quick?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's start talking now. So what just happened just now?
Well, a random person approached me and asked me to take pictures of my feet.
Yeah. And what was your reaction?
My reaction was, I don't know. Feet are kind of like a weird part of the body, and they're
Let's see right here.
and feet are kind of odd, and I don't know. They're also like sort of fetishized, and I feel like since I don't know you, I don't really, we just met.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be comfortable taking off my shoes and like showing you my feet because I don't know where they're gonna end up.
Well, it's going to end up on YouTube, and let's say it did go on the internet somewhere.
Nah, man, YouTube is a hellhole of.
What's the worst that could happen from it?
Someone jerks off to my feet. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that either.
So someone pleasurizes themselves to you. That's a bad thing. They get pleasure, happiness from the sight of you. That's something that's
from my
bad.
feet.
Yeah. I mean, it's a part of you.
It's sort of non-consensual though, isn't it? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know that people are like using my feet in that way.
But I mean, if somebody just saw you, right, and got excited by just seeing you, that's the same thing. I mean, it's one thing that happens in, this space of reality. The other one happens on a different space of reality, you know
Here's
what I mean?
the thing though. Me taking off my shoes to show you my feet would be me saying, oh, I'm fine with this possibility, and I'm really not.
Okay.
And the knowledge that people might be, I don't know, jerking it to my feet is not the best.
Okay.
As compared to someone walking by me where I don't really know that it's happening.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my spiel and why I don't want to take off my shoes and show you my feet.
All right, I respect that.
Yeah.
So, you think you're pretty feet?
Do I think I have pretty feet? No. I
don't?
kind of, I have like gremlin feet. They're kind of, they're just like my dad's, which is kind of a weird thing. Like, I have my dad's hands and my dad's feet. I don't think they're particularly dainty. I avoid wearing sandals most of the time.
Okay.
Don't have the best feet.
Have you ever been complimented?
On my feet?
Yeah.
No, because my feet are just okay. They do their job.
Okay. How often do you wear open-toe shoes?
Usually when I'm at home, I'll wear flip-flops.
In public?
In public? Not unless I'm like going to the beach or something.
I see.
Usually closed toes for me.
Okay. So, okay. You don't like anybody. Is that about anything about you or just your feet? You say you don't want to take off your shoes and socks because of the knowledge that somebody might, the possibility that somebody might get off to your feet. But is that about you, your whole body, or just your feet particularly?
Is that my whole body or just my
Yeah,
feet?
because I mean, I'm recording your hands. Somebody could have a thing for hands. I'm recording your eyes, your hair. Same thing applies. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I don't think there should be a stigma against foot particularly. I mean, it's just like any other kink. Do I want to participate in that? Not particularly. But other people jerking it to other feet, fine by me. Just not my feet.
But we're seeing your hair. We're seeing your eyes. You have pretty eyes. You have pretty eyebrows.
Yeah.
You know, you have a pretty neck. You have a pretty hands. You're okay with that, but you're not okay with the feet.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about feet. I mean, I do think it's like contradictory. Like, I agree with you. It's like sort of inconsistent and weird. Unfortunately, I think the stigma around the fetish is kind of, I guess, factoring into my decision not to take off my shoes.
Where does the stigma come from?
People being weird, I guess. I don't know what it is about. It is just like any other part of the body, like you said. Where does the stigma come from? Society. I guess maybe the media making fun of people with foot.
Okay.
Which is not great. I mean, people should be able to get off to whatever they want as long as it's safe, sane, and consensual. So, do I want to participate in a foot if I don't have a foot? No, so that wouldn't be consensual in my mind, you know?
So you're saying the stigma that comes from society, the media, and what have you, that has an influence upon how you feel about people appreciating your feet? Has a strong influence?
There's also the randomness aspect of it. Like, I don't know you. Like, I really do not know you.
Right.
If it was maybe a long-term partner that I'd been with, or, you know, someone that I kind of, like, had a chance to get to know, maybe I'd be like, okay, like, I'm fine with this. I'm down to, like, experiment. But a couple of things, maybe it's the stigma, and maybe it's the fact that I don't really know you.
What do you have to know about a person?
What do I have to know about a person?
Yeah.
I mean, probably a couple of things, like, I don't know, I'd probably have to, like, go on a date with a person before I'd be comfortable partaking in that. I'd probably have to, like, know that they're not, like, crazy.
When you say go on a date, that's kind of abstract, because what do you have to know? I mean, you go on a date in order to get to know somebody, right?
Get to know someone enough that maybe I'd feel comfortable partaking in.
Well, what about them specifically, which you say, the moment you get that knowledge, that information about that person, you're like, okay, this person's cool. I'm comfortable now with showing them and experimenting with my feet. What is it specifically?
I guess we'd have to vibe. Like, we'd have to get along. We'd be able to hold a conversation, hopefully. Maybe there'd be some kind of sexual chemistry. I don't know. And then if they were like, if they introduced it in a way that I was comfortable with, if they were like, okay, like, here's something you need to know, whatever, I'd be like, yes or no, depending on the vibe, depending on the feeling I have about it.
Okay, so this situation right now is not enough?
No.
There has to be more.
I guess so. I mean, I would have to, like, know you beyond just being approached.
And being a YouTuber.
And being a YouTuber, that's another thing. So maybe add that to the list. 3 things now.
What do you mean?
The 3 things, probably the stigma a little bit, unfortunately, the fact that I don't know you, and the fact that you're a YouTuber.
Oh, you don't like YouTube?
Oh, I love YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I participate in it. I watch YouTube videos. Do I feel comfortable starring in it with my feet, not knowing where it's going to go or how it's going to be used? No.
I see. Okay. All right. Do you have any recommendations or suggestions, modifications, critiques I can make to my approach? Did you think my approach was good, bad, what?
It was interesting. I mean, this is a good conversation to have. I consider myself, if this was about a foot, I consider myself pretty kink and sex positive. But the fact that I was kind of approached out of nowhere was jarring, and I was just like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know if this is your approach, if this is how you, I guess if the whole point of this is to make random people feel more comfortable with feet, or showing their feet, that would be sort of hard, wouldn't it? Because the randomness was what jarred me, really. I would, again, probably have to know someone in a more intimate context, especially since this is sort of like a very sexual thing. I don't know, man. Maybe talk to the people you know. Have you gotten any people to say?
Oh yeah, a whole lot.
Really?
Yeah, actually, you're a rarity.
Huh.
As far as like not wanting this, well, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, you're pretty common.
Yeah, right.
Because my whole thing is not about foot fetish at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's just about the experience, the moment of just embracing, you know, a random experience, a new experience with a stranger. And I also incorporate my mental health aspect to it, because my therapist gave me this idea. Have you heard of dialectical behavioral therapy?
Yeah.
So basically I try to put strangers in a certain situation to see how they cope with the idea of showing their feet, even if they're uncomfortable with it, because there's some people who are uncomfortable with it, but they do it because, and then I was like, okay, why did you do it? You know, why were you able to cope with the feeling of that uncomfort, you know? And they explain, well, you know, it's something new, I want to experience a new experience, and you know, what's the worst that can happen? This one lady said, you know, what's the worst that can happen from it, you know, even if it goes on the internet. Some people have like a positive outlook on life, and like even if it goes out there, you know, I'm just going to expect good things to happen rather than something bad happening, you know? Yeah,
I would definitely identify as someone who's not that optimistic about life. I definitely try, or I try not to think in an apocalyptic manner, but that's kind of where my mind goes, to the worst case scenario.
Why is that? How did you get to that point in your life?
How did I get to that point in my life?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Life is hard. It's crazy. Sometimes it's painful. And people go through things that shape their outlook on life. And I would say that the things that I've been through as a person would shape my outlook in that way, if that makes sense.
Would it take more energy to look at life in an optimistic way rather than a pessimistic way?
Would it take more energy to look at life in an optimistic way? That's a good question. I would say the effort that it takes to force myself into, or not force myself, but the effort that it takes to think about things pessimistically is probably about the same as it takes to think about things optimistically.
So why go to the pessimistic route? Why choose that route?
Because I'm also a cautious person. And there's a quote that like I live by, sort of, which is that when you're a pessimist, you are either right or pleasantly surprised.
What does that mean?
It means that in a situation where you're a pessimist, you're either right if things go badly, or you're pleasantly surprised when things go well. So I guess, I don't know, I would rather be a pessimist, or that's how my mind goes to things, because I don't like to have my hopes let down. I don't like to feel rejection. I don't like to experience a bad outcome that I didn't already have in mind. And so it's just a way of guarding myself, I guess.
Would you consider yourself 100% pessimist?
No, because I would probably have killed myself by now if I was. I mean, everyone has hope.
The reason why I asked that question is, do you believe in the law of attraction?
Do I believe in the law of attraction?
Like, if you think negative thoughts are going to be attracted to you. Those negative things are going to happen. Or if you think positive thoughts, those positive things are going to come to you.
Yeah, I mean,
like, thoughts have like a certain energy
of
attraction.
I'm familiar. Do I believe in the law of attraction? I mean, I guess that you can sort of manifest certain things by thinking about it. Thinking about it causes your actions to sort of pivot toward whatever it is that the outcome that you're visualizing. I guess I do. So it doesn't really make sense that I think in a way that's so pessimistic sometimes. So yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I should be a little bit more optimistic.
Thank you for this conversation.
Of course, thank you.
I didn't get to see your feet, but we had a good conversation.
Yeah, we
nevertheless.
did.
Appreciate your help.
Free therapy. Thank you so much.
All right, then take care. When you drop me off, can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Interview me?
Yeah.
Like what kind of questions?
I'm a foot photographer.
Oh, what?
Foot photographer. Bare feet photographer.
Oh, okay.
So I want to interview you about your feet. How you maintain your feet. How you take care of your feet, and what do you think about foot photography and things like that. It's real quick, 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'll do it? Thank you. Alright, cool. Okay. Alright. So what just happened just now?
Just now,
As in, how do we get here?
Well, I'm working, so obviously you are my passenger, and now I'm dropping you off.
Right. So I asked to interview you.
Okay.
What are we interviewing for?
My feet, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think about your feet?
What I think about my feet? Well, I think I have pretty feet.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
And I like to maintain my feet. Even like during fall or winter, you know what I mean?
Okay, that's good.
So, yeah.
Okay, why do you think you have pretty feet?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? Have you ever been complimented?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
How often do you wear like open-toe shoes, sandals?
Mostly during summer, you know, because my feet get really cold during the winter.
Yeah.
So like at home too, I wear like the thong sandals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like go to salons, nail salons?
I do.
Or do you do it yourself?
Oh, you know what? I try to go at least every 2 weeks. If not, I'll just do it at home.
Okay.
I have nothing to do.
Okay, what size shoe are you?
What size?
Yeah.
6.5.
6.5. Okay. How would you feel if a guy was interested in your feet, like give you a compliment, say, "Hey, you have really pretty feet"? How would that make you feel?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I guess thanks. I'll say thank you and just it.
You can't attach that to a feeling?
Can I attach that to a feeling?
Yeah. He said, "Oh wow, you have pretty feet."
It's kind of weird.
It's weird?
Yeah.
Why is that weird?
It's weird. I don't know. Just because it's feet. I don't know. I don't think I'm into feet like that.
Yeah, but what if a guy is into your feet? He finds it pretty. You still find it weird? If he complimented you on your hair or your eyes, would that still be weird?
No, it wouldn't be as weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
but feet
Yeah.
is something that's weird.
Right.
Even though you beautify your feet, you get pedicures, you make them pretty. So if a guy says, "Oh wow, they look pretty,"
Right.
you find that weird.
No, I mean I do put time into doing that, so I guess I'll feel good and weird, I guess, at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I asked that because a lot of guys think, you know, we like women's feet, and women do keep their feet looking pretty.
Right.
But when we compliment them, sometimes they think it's weird. It's like, so what are you getting a pedicure for? Why are you making them pretty?
Right.
And if we compliment you and you say it's weird, it's like, why is that weird?
I don't know.
You know? Okay, so what if a guy wanted to like give you a foot massage? You like foot massages?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ticklish?
No.
No? Okay. That's good. Can we see what your feet look like?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
No? Why not?
I don't know. It's just weird.
What's weird about it?
I don't know.
Okay, the reason why I ask these questions, part of my YouTube is dealing with mental health. So have you ever heard of dialectical behavioral therapy? Okay, so if you have like an anxiety or a depression, suffer from those things, and let's say you have a fear of talking to strangers, they'll tell you to go out and approach strangers and to do it over and over and over again until you get rid of the anxiety. The rationale being, if you can't identify a threat to your health or a threat to your life, then the anxiety, the fear is irrational, because what you're doing is you're kind of preventing yourself from experiencing new experiences, such as meeting a new person and perhaps an opportunity to make a new friend.
Right.
So they'll tell you to go out and over again do what you're avoid what you're avoiding, which is don't stay in that box. Go out and deal and cope with it, so that you can get over the fear and actually live your best life.
Right.
So when I ask strangers to like show their feet, comment answer is, no, I don't want to do it, it's weird. So I ask, like, what's the worst that can happen? Because that's what they ask you. What's the worst that can happen from it? So in me asking you to show your feet, what's the worst that could happen from you showing it?
It's just weird.
It's just weird?
Yeah.
But what's the worst that can happen? I know it's weird, it's an uncomfortable feeling, but what's the worst that can happen?
It's just awkward.
It's
this
awkward?
whole feet thing.
How would you cope with it?
How would I cope with it? I mean, I'll just finish this interview and get back to work, kind of thing.
Okay, but I'm saying if you showed your feet and you felt awkward, how would you cope with it?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you want to try it?
No, it's
No?
okay.
Okay.
I was just like, I was like, you know what? I'll answer a few questions. That's fine. But the whole, no.
You don't want to show your feet? Okay.
No.
All right then.
Yeah, but.
How did you think of my approach in asking you these questions, or just asking?
You know what? When you had said my name, I thought probably like, hey, you know, you can make a quick turn here, and it'll be easier for you, you know, because I'm dropping you off.
Yeah.
So I didn't think you were gonna ask me about interview about feet. Like that's just, you don't, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's just weird in a way for me.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not really like into feet like that. Like.
Okay.
So.
Do you have any suggestions of how I can modify my approach, or any critiques?
When you wanna like interview other girls about it. I mean, I think you approached me well, but it's just something that you don't expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any parting words?
No.
No. Okay. Well, thank you very much for taking
You're
time to do
welcome.
this. Appreciate it. Hello. Hi. Can I interview you for my YouTube channel? Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Sorry?
Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
For what?
I'm a barefoot photographer.
Okay.
So my YouTube is about teaching other foot photographers how to approach strangers and getting comfortable with the idea of modeling their feet. And I deal with like mental health as well, like the aspects of how you get over anxiety and depression. So I'm just going to ask you about your feet, how you maintain them, and how did you think about my approach?
Yeah.
That's it. About 10 minutes?
Sure.
Okay, let's sit on the stairs. Thank you. Okay, let's have a seat here. Okay, let's have a seat. All right, so what just happened just now?
What just happened?
Yeah, what just happened just now? How did we get here?
You asked me whether you can interview me, and
Yeah.
then there we go.
Okay, what is the interview about?
You said you were a YouTuber or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's the subject matter about?
I wasn't really sure because it was kind of loud over there.
Okay, I'm a foot photographer, bare feet photographer.
Okay.
So, what was your initial reaction when I approached you? How did you feel?
I was kind of surprised because there wasn't so many people around here,
Mhm.
and honestly, I haven't seen a lot of people going by right now.
Uh-huh.
So when someone just approached me, I was like, okay. I was kind of shocked, honestly.
Shocked?
Yeah.
Really?
Or surprised.
Okay. So why did you say yes to the interview?
Because after you said what you were doing,
Mhm.
and I thought it was fine,
Yeah.
and I would like to help people with their, interview or things like that.
Okay. Well, thank you for helping
Sure.
me. How do you feel about your feet?
It's fine, I guess.
Fine? Okay. Do you think your feet are pretty?
I wouldn't say that.
No?
It's just normal, not particularly pretty.
Can you speak up a little bit because of the music? I want to make sure I get it in the music.
Cool.
Have you ever been complimented on your feet?
Not really.
No, not really. Not really. Is that yes or no?
It's no.
No?
It's a no.
Okay. How would you feel if a man complimented you on your feet? He said you had pretty feet, he likes your feet. How would you feel about that?
I think it depends on whether I know this person or not.
Mhm.
If that's a friend, it's totally fine. But if it's a stranger, I think it would be a little bit weird.
Weird? Why is it weird?
Because it means that this person is actually paying attention to some part of your body, not really like what you're saying, or
So if somebody says you have nice hair or nice eyes, would that be the same? Or a nice smile?
I've never thought about it, but I think it's different.
It's different? Why is it different?
Well, at least for me, I think if this person compliments on your hair, or your smile, or your eyes, it means at least they're looking at you eye to eye. But
Mhm.
if this person is saying you have a nice feet, it probably means they're not really looking at you in the eyes when they were talking to you.
Okay. What if they were looking at you in the eyes and then they scrolled down and saw your feet and like, oh wow, you have really pretty feet?
That makes sense.
That makes sense?
Okay.
So you wouldn't feel weird about that?
Well, it's probably still if it's a friend, maybe it's okay. But if it's just a stranger, it's somehow a little bit weird still.
Okay. Do you ever get pedicures?
Sorry?
Do you ever get pedicures? Like do you go to nail salons and get your feet done?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Can we see what your feet look like?
Can we not do that part?
You don't want to do that part? Why not?
No, I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable about
Feel
it.
uncomfortable? Okay. Well, let me explain to you about the mental health portion about my
Okay.
channel. Have you ever heard of dialectical behavioral therapy?
No.
Okay. So if you suffer from anxiety or depression, let's say you have a fear of approaching strangers, talking to strangers, in therapy they'll tell you to assess what's making you afraid. Why are you afraid of approaching strangers? What's the worst that can happen from it?
Okay.
If you can't determine that there's a threat to your health or a threat to your safety, then the fear, the anxiety is irrational because you could be preventing yourself from meeting a new friend, experiencing a pleasant event. You're really closing yourself off from expanding your life and living your best life if you're going to stay in a box and be antisocial. So I relay that to foot photography because the common reaction women will have is not want to show their feet. So I ask you, what's the worst that can happen? I know it's uncomfortable, it's a new experience, but what's the worst that can happen from it?
Probably nothing.
Okay, so what is preventing you from wanting to show your feet? What do you think? Dig a little deeper.
Well, honestly, I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
Okay, but you don't want to show your feet. You don't know why, but you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then, do you have any suggestions or critiques or modifications I can make to my approach when I approach people to talk to them about this?
I think it was fine. Like the way you talk to me, at least I don't feel uncomfortable like talking to a stranger. So I think it's fine.
Okay, but you draw the line at showing your feet.
Yeah. Well. Right.
Okay. All right. Then, any parting remarks?
Huh?
Any parting remarks? Anything else you have to say?
Not really, but I hope you can be successful with what you're doing.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Excuse me, miss. Ma'am. Hi. Can I interview you for my YouTube channel?
Okay.
I can? Okay. Let me explain. I'm a foot photographer.
You're a what photographer?
Foot photographer.
Okay.
So my YouTube is about mental health. I teach other foot photographers how to push strangers and get them comfortable with modeling their feet. So that's about it. So I just want to talk to you about your feet and how you maintain them. Is that okay?
How do I what?
How do you maintain your feet?
Oh God. The most awesome way.
I can interview you though? Okay, can I sit down?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright. Is he a PCA dog?
A what?
PCA, like a helper dog? He looks like one. He has like the temperament of one. Alright, so what just happened just now?
About
Just
you
now.
approaching me?
Yeah, yeah.
Asking me if I would mind you interviewing you
Mm-hmm.
about my feet.
Exactly.
And the care about my foot.
Okay. And how did you feel about that? What was your first reaction when I asked you to do this?
First, I thought it was just a normal interview. And then I didn't think it was about the most insecure part of my body.
It's the most insecure?
It's one of the most insecure parts.
Why is that?
Because it's not one of the smoothest parts or the most elegant, or I use my feet a lot to the point where I've damaged them.
Really?
Yes. Not ballerina damage, but good enough.
Okay. Now you say you use your feet a lot. What does that mean? What have you done?
Well, I like dancing, I like running, and because I'm overweight, it's a lot of weight bearing on myself.
Okay.
So the impact is great. And then you start having like plantar fasciitis.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just ongoing stuff that occurs in your feet as you get older.
Okay. Do you get foot massages regularly?
Not regularly.
Why not?
Mostly because I don't like dealing with my feet a lot.
Okay.
Just because at the same time I'm so insecure about it.
I see. Do you wear open-toe shoes often, like sandals?
I did when I was younger.
When you were younger?
Yeah.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
Why not?
Because one, the plantar. So sandals are usually flat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help when I step. It's not comfortable.
Does it give you arch support?
It doesn't have the arch support.
Yeah.
And then the ones that do have arch support are really not the nice cutie ones that I would enjoy wearing.
Okay.
And for heels, because I have a broken, like kind of deformed toe now,
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable wearing them because it's an ongoing rubbing against the upper part of my leg.
Okay. Have you ever been complimented on your feet?
I have.
You have? How does that make you feel?
I don't know. It's one of those things that are like, okay, sure, if you think it's fine, then okay.
Okay.
So I'll take it as a compliment, sure, because it's one of the most insecures. But as far as like, do I feel like something that I'm proud of? No.
Okay. How would you feel if a guy was interested in your feet? You said, wow, you have really pretty feet. You know, I want to massage them, kiss on them, hug on them, rub on them, smell on them, all those things.
I was like, let me get a pedicure first.
A pedicure first?
Yeah, that's usually my answer. Because that has happened.
It has happened before?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were open to it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Why were you open to it?
being out of my comfort zone.
Oh, so you like to be...
That's usually one of the reasons I do most of the uncomfortable things.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're the type of person that will embrace new experiences even if it's uncomfortable?
Correct.
Okay, have you always been that way? How did you get to that point in your life?
It's taken a lot of practice. What's the worst that can happen? Kind of a measurement of what it is that, you're asking of a person. I was like, are you willing to go ahead and open yourself up for in an interview?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, what's the worst thing that can happen? You don't use it.
Wow. See, I think I willed you into existence because have you ever done therapy before? Have you ever had a therapist?
Yes.
You have? Did they teach you that in therapy?
As far as what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Because I always ask that question when I interview people. Because a lot of women that I interview, they don't want to talk about their feet. It's weird to them and they're not open to it. And in therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, this is what my therapist recommended to me. Let's say you have a fear of talking to strangers, you get anxiety or what have you. They always ask you what's the worst that can happen, and I always ask that question. So the fact that you said that, I was like, you're the first person that I've interviewed who's actually said that phrase, because I always use that phrase. So that's good that you said that.
I don't remember where it actually came from. Yeah, but yeah.
That's a good approach to life. Yeah, that's what they tell you in therapy. Like always, if you have any type of non-constructive emotion when facing something that's new or something that makes you feel uncomfortable, they always say, what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Because
and just weigh that as far as seeing if it's something that you're willing to live with or not.
Right, okay. Wow, that's very good. Can we see what your feet look like?
Alright.
What's the worst that can happen, right?
They're gonna get cold though.
I won't have them out that long.
They get so cold.
Let's do this. Putting this in the light.
In the light.
In the light. You have good symmetry. Have you ever done foot modeling before?
The ones that go like this stuff. The ones that go like that.
Hold your feet up. You mind if I touch your feet?
No, go for it.
Alright. Size 11. How are you feeling right now?
Kind of odd. Just the way I'm sitting. But
Just the way you're sitting? Alright. Bend your toes down.
Bend them down?
Yeah. There you go. Talk to me more about what's the worst that could happen aspect of it. Expound on that. I really want my subscribers to understand that.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Like when experiencing new things and stuff like that.
As far as what? Well, I mean, make sure your life isn't in danger, of course. That, no harm is actually going to come of it.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You're the first person that's actually nailed it, and I don't have to explain anything. Like, this is a perfect interview.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any parting words?
Parting words. Be gentle when you approach people. If you're gonna go ahead and approach people, make it in the least amount of risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you think of my approach?
It was reasonable. I mean, you were kind of laid back when you were sipping coffee. I feel comfortable here because I come almost every night.
Yeah.
So I know that I'll be safe.
Okay.
Cops are right behind you.
Yeah. I just saw him pull up. Somebody.
I was like, they're always around.
Right.
I was like, and I have my dog near me, so.
Right. And he's a little timid because he's a pit bull, of course. Pit bulls are always timid, but not this one. This one's actually, that's why I asked, is he a PCA dog? Because he has that type of temperament. And okay, do you have any recommendations or suggestions, any modifications I can make to my approach?
To your approach?
Yeah.
Maybe a business card.
A business card? On my YouTube channel, It's called Scouting Sessions.
Okay.
So I always tell people my YouTube
I
channel.
was like, but actually having something to hand out would probably help a lot.
Okay.
It's like, you know, this is the stuff. If it has like a code, like
The barcode thing?
barcode
Yeah.
reader, they can just look it up really fast.
Yeah.
That would help.
Okay.
I'll give more credibility to what you're doing.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. Take care. Have a good night.
Good night.